Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the finale of the patient Lorethrough of Horizon Zero Dawn. How you doing? Okay, there it is, look. Horizon Forbidden West, and that is available to us in 1 day, 6 hours, 44 minutes and 39 seconds. Sounds good to me. Okay, whoever's watching, can you tell me what the stream looks like? Is it HD? Does it sound okay? Hey David, how's it going? Okay, we're going to dive into it in a couple of seconds. Looks and sounds great, thank you David. Okay, so, a little bit of housekeeping. I have moved locations to do this because my internet at home isn't strong enough to stream 720p, let alone 1080p. But what I've swapped for bandwidth, I've taken on some ambient noise. The room I'm in is my office, which is down in the town, and there's a road next to us, so in the top roof the insulation's rubbish and there's a bit of traffic noise kicking about, so as we're going through the wilds you may hear the odd lorry here and there. I'm looking to upgrade my system a fair amount in the coming months, once finances allow, whereby I get a more directional mic and I get a better capture card so that I can run plugins that sort of give noise gates and various other wonderful fineries that cut down on ambient noise. So, you know, if I continue streaming, that's what I'll be putting the ad revenue that it gets towards that. So that's that. Okay, so that's Horizon Forbidden West. That's not available. Isn't it terrible? A horrible feeling to have it on the system. It's there, playable, but you're just waiting for a cheeky little bit of code to unlock it so you can play it. Isn't that terrible? Okay. Gosh, Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay, here we are. We're kind of in Nora lands at the moment because what I did, we want to come back up here and have a good old listen to Rost, see what he's got to say. I think that'll be a good starting point. And how is my commentary level versus the ambient noise versus the game? Do keep me updated because, again, my stream setup is such that I can't sample it in my ear.
There's nothing for me here anymore.
Okay, Rost, we're going to come down. Come down here. Hello, Dave. Hello, David. Hello, Shipwreck. Okay, Rost. Do you know what? I've never seen his pelt on top. Considering there was a substantial blast that killed him and severed his body to the nth degree, the boar pelt has lasted quite nicely. I'm assuming that's his spare one. Isn't that cool? They put it on. So I've never seen that. What else has he got? He's got some arrows. He's got his bow, and just some Nora etchings on here.
Hi, Rost. I'm back. It's been a while. I've got what I need to destroy Hades. The Master Override. Now all I have to do is drive it into Hades' skull, so no problem there. The final battle will be fought at Meridian. Hades will come for the Spire, and I'll be ready.
Go on.
I found out how Elisabet died. She sacrificed herself, as you might expect. Said something about going home. I wonder where that was for her. If I ever find out, I'd like to go there. See it myself. Assuming I actually survived the battle at Meridian, of course. Which, let's face it, is... well... who knows? Well, I'll try to come back if I can, but... I guess this might be it. Thank you, Rost. Thank you for everything.
Yes, she places the focus back in her ear because she doesn't want Silence to listen in on her, checking in with Rost. But
It's heavy. World's going white.
she thinks that perhaps this might be possibly the last time she comes here to see him. She knows the tasks that she's got ahead of her at Meridian is enormous, but she does know she's got a lot of help on hand. I don't think she quite knows how much help she's got, but she knows she's not alone, and she knows it matters to everyone, to all tribes. She's already gone through that at All Mother Mountain, talking to the matriarchs and saying, look, if you kind of want to be with me, if you want me to be with this tribe or to understand you or to save yourselves, you've got to stop this silliness about staying in Nora land and get the F out and get to Meridian and help save the world. Okay. We were halfway through some of these collectibles. I can't remember where we were. I think we were here. So this is... I can't remember his name now. What's his name? Something Bharti, isn't it? I think he's of Indian descent. But here we go. Apocalypse Storm. We'll read one and then we'll kind of do a bit and then we'll read some more. Day 7. I was 3 months out of rehab when we went camping out here. Wyatt went to sleep early, so it was just the two of us when we stayed up and watched the... I know I've read this one. Do apologise. Day 12. So we're going along here, but it's not in order. And it kind of doesn't make sense either way, so I'm just doing it this way. As we watched the booster arc up into the night sky, riding a pillar of flame, you took my hand, squeezed it, and said, "You have written the story of our family across the stars." So this is when she was ill. Hi, Ma. Last stop. After this, I'll have said everything I need to. It was just a routine launch, but for us it might as well have been Apollo 11. It was my first payload. A Seeker extractor with an upgraded propulsion system I'd designed. The vehicle was destined for M89282, an asteroid rich in ruthenium and tungsten. A metallurgic claim, as it happened. A family event through and through. Okay, so the mum worked for Metallurgic, and that is why she is ill. Some kind of lubricants that she used to kind of service the machinery that had a carcinogenic element to it, and she succumbed to it, or is succumbing to it. There we stood in the open air as night fell. The stars came up, and of course I was thinking of that night years before when we watched the Perseids together and talked and dreamed of this very moment. I might have even read this. You were thinking of it too, because when the booster launched, as it rose into the sky on its jet of flame, you took my hand and said, "You have written the story of the family across the stars." Even then I knew it wasn't true. The vehicle was headed for a rock, not a star. It was a routine launch. Not some voyage of discovery, but my heart was too full to quibble. I just smiled and squeezed your hand back. It was the finest moment of my life. You and me, Ma, onwards and upwards, the start of great things. But after you died and I broke down, the meaning of that night changed. Everything that seemed wonderful seemed to turn rotten and false. It seemed false because it was false. I'd never written anything across the stars. Sure, I'd hoped to work on a project like that, a deep space probe or a colony ship, but it never happened. And now that my career was over, it never would. And then when I found out about the plague, the memory haunted me even worse. Because it wasn't just me who failed to write a story across the stars, you see. It was all of us, our entire species. All our innovation, all our tech, all our striving, and it came to zero. I've been looking up at the stars a lot, Ma, and the only story I see written across them is that we are small and insignificant and will soon disappear, with hardly a trace left behind. It's a hard story, and I don't much like it, so I guess maybe what I've been trying to do these past 12 days is tell a different story. Not a big story, written across the stars, but a tiny one, written across the humble earth of the only world we ever get to know. I have no reason to think that anyone or anything will survive to ever read it, but whether that happens or not, the truth of the story remains. That once upon a time on a planet called Earth, there lived a boy named Bashar, there we are, Bashar, Marty or Barty, who loved his mother very, very much. That's the last of the 12, isn't it? But she's died. He knows that the world is coming to an end. The son of Amal and Bias, Marty. There we go, Marty. Stepson of Wyatt Mahanti. Oh, so Wyatt was a second or third generation Indian, and he had an American name. 24th of November 2064, just as it was all kicking off. That's very cool. Okay, now, top left, we've got the ancient armory. Without looking it up, I wouldn't know where the cells are. We could go and look it up and go and find it, but I think we can do without it. And do you know what? Having that shield weaver outfit, I find particularly distracting. It's the sort of shimmer that comes across it the whole time. It just puts me off my stroke. I don't like it. So I think it's going to be tough, but I think we'll wear the best weapons, the best outfit, and if we have to die and redo it, we'll just take it on. We'll cheese it in the end. Hello HT, hello Horizon Mysteries, good to see you. Okay. So, let's go and get this Banuk figure over here. How many more have we got left to get? Just the one, and then we can read about the Banuk dude and his son, which is also very sad. You're excited for Horizon Forbidden West? Well, I don't blame you. It's really ramped up the last few weeks, hasn't it, with various trailers, and reviews look good, although I've just sort of seen the top line numbers. I haven't delved into it because I don't want really many or any spoilers. But of course it looks good. Hello dude with glyph writing. Hello Rev Law. How you doing? Hit the microphone there. Okay, let's go over to here. It looks like a fairly testy one up on the side of the mountain here. Still got the shield weaver outfit on so we can move around at will, but we will change it once we get into the various battles. We've got two notable battles, but before that we're going to go to Meridian and talk to people. Talk to those that we've given the time of day to over the course of the 70 or so hours we've been playing together. Okay. Looks like we may have to come around this way. These always flummox me. Sometimes they're really easy, and sometimes it's so hard to see where we're going. It looks like we're going over here. But in the new game, you can set off your focus to find the handholds and find the areas, which will prove to be slightly easier. Okay. Let's great to sit in the stream to see so many familiar faces that have been in the comments all through this playthrough. Thank you so much for spending the time to relive the game with me. You obviously could have done it with many other content creators or played it yourself, but I'm delighted that you stuck around. One of those being KG, who picked up the vantage points in New Game Plus yesterday and read through them in sequence for the third time. Really hoping the collectibles in HFW have such an impact as well. It's got to, hasn't it? They've got a lot to live up to. I hope there's a few more sort of those stories, because they really tap into the sadness of the situation. The kind of it gets you quite emotional, doesn't it? The the lost connections between people, and the people who have had to let go of each other or aren't able to die together, or it's just brutal. Some of it is so brutal. Okay, let's read a couple of these. This is all about Tektuk. Upon this peak I name you my son, that which I could not do before my exile. Signak, chieftain of my Werak, thought your blood was his, but the truth was clear as the colour of the sky, painted in your eyes and mine. As I wander alone in this foreign land, it's not Signak's death that wounds me, nor the memory of Ili, your mother, nor even the loss of snow-sheathed Banuk, my home, but instead the silence that lay between us, who should have been father and son. I paint my mark here for you and leave you this offering, though it will never touch the warmth of your hands. Goodness, obviously that's setting off in a sad light already. As the months of my exile turn to years, I have thought long on what kept me from claiming you. Such a call could only be settled in blood, by the death of Signak, our chieftain, or my own. It is true I feared this battle, and his strength, but not as much as I feared its aftermath. The eyes of Ili, your mother, distant and dead, as they beheld the corpse of her mate. This I could not bear, and so I remained silent, ashamed. But fate is cold and cruel, and my fears came to pass despite me. I paint this mark in sorrow, and leave you this offering. Okay, so he turned down a duel with Chieftain, the same kind of duel that we had with Aratak. For some reason, obviously he felt wronged, and he didn't want to do it because he feared it, but he also feared leaving behind his mate. Okay, we'll come back. We may as well head through these because there's only 4 of them. In my exile, I often envision your eyes, wide and blue and dumbstruck, as the body of Signak, our chieftain, was laid before you. The Werak saw how I looked at his mate, Ili, your mother. To them, my guilt was as plain and sharp as the cracker's spring ice. In my exile, I often envision your eyes, wide and blue. As they stripped me bare and left me to die on the glacier, the warmth of life departed me, but not the bitter will to hunt, to strive, to survive. Perhaps to prove I needed no one, least of all those who wronged me. I am only at peace when I paint my marks and craft these offerings to you. They will never touch the warmth of your hands. Oh. There is much I would confess to you, but one thing I cannot. I did not kill Signak, our chieftain. Oh, right, so he did get round to the battle? I'm a bit confused. You claim to be your father? Ah. Okay. That night I was alone in my tent, drunk with cold wine, dreaming as I always did. So is Ili Signak's wife and his lover, or the other way around? Dreaming as I always did, of Ili, your mother, and a sunset smile. You will never hear my testament, and my offering will never touch the warmth of your hands. But I paint my mark in the light of truth. I know what I am guilty of and what I am not. I hope against hope that in your heart you know the same. I've lost the thread a little bit. Falsely accused, exiled, starving and cold, I faltered. This I confess. As the death chills overcame me, I lost will and purpose, and felt the bottomless callousness of fate. But then a vision. I saw in my mind's eye an endless white plain with only a single figure waiting. It was you, and I knew in death, if not in life, I would see you again. When the chills faded, I rose with new hope. I paint my mark here for you in anticipation of our meeting and leave you this offering that will never touch the warmth of your hands. Goodness. Last one. It is only because you will never read these glyphs that I can write them. After a lifetime of longing, I spent only a single night with your mother. Yeah, that answers it. A memory that I cherished, but she reviled a burning coal of guilt she carried in her belly. And so I wonder, was her guilt laid bare the night Signac, our chieftain, was killed? Did he discover the truth? Was she forced to defend herself? If only I had been there, to stand between them, to actually strike the blow I was punished for. At least then I would have been her champion, and the father you deserved. For a single moment, I paint this mark with eternal regret, and leave you this offering that will never touch the warmth of your hands. Okay, so he it was Illy that somehow caused the death of Signac. He took the brunt of it, and I don't know what happened to Illy and the kid, what their life was afterwards, but he had to live in exile, and every day he paints these marks and lives in regret and leaves these Banuk carvings. Okay, right, let's head over. So David, did you see the story trailer? Yeah. Who do you think that well-dressed lady was at the end after we saw Gaia? It's a funny one, isn't it? I think my gut is it has to do with, it's an obvious one, and it's been said before by many, but I think it is to do with the Odyssey. I'm not sure how it's to do with the Odyssey. Maybe the Odyssey ejected some people in pods afterwards, and they managed to live somehow, some way, or the Odyssey never blew up at all, or it was a separate ship that founded a colony a while before, maybe a secret ship set up by Far Zenith or someone like that. So maybe they'd already sent one. Maybe they'd already sent a ship, and it and they, by buying the Odyssey, they wanted to send another one. I don't know. Who else has such a buttery voice and dives so deep into games? There's only one place for me to enjoy a game playthrough. That's kind. I never picked up on Bashar's stepdad being a second, third generation immigrant. You pointed it out in the last episode, and it gave me a better insight into the story. This is why I watch your vids. Yeah, I mean, every time you replay a game, especially one of this depth, you manage to tease out different things. I've never laboured on that story very much. Let's go to the quests. The looming shadow. Where have we got to go? We've got to go up here to the place of the sun. And we've also got Derval somewhere to speak to. I'd love to speak to him, but I've forgotten.
Check out these.
Where it is.
Buy what you need, leave the rest.
Just forgotten. Let's have a little look around here, just see if we can randomly happen upon it. I think it's at the top, isn't it? So we're not going to get there soon. Okay, well, what we're going to do is, in fact, we are going to go back up because we are going to hand in the various things we've picked up. And we're going to have a look at our inventory. Yeah, I mean, the Odyssey is... it's got to be, really. I can't see anything else fitting in. I'm also holding out. I think Ted Pharaoh is alive in some way. I think this is my crackpot theory. Ted Pharaoh is alive in some way. Either he has some cryogenic situation where he's frozen, or he's got some life extension type surgery or drugs where his his cells renew, and he's just been around for years and years. And he is perhaps the one that was responsible for the signal. That's a possibility. I think one of the major reveals, the major moments, is the return of the villain, the main villain of the piece. That's my thoughts. But I don't think I'm alone in that. Right, where's the merchants for the various stuff? We want the artifact collectible, so we'll go and see that guy. Yeah, I know. It's a Hail Mary of a theory there, David, but I haven't got any others. I'm usually wrong. If anyone's seen the theory videos I chuck out in various games, I'm always wrong, so...
You're looking for artifacts.
Yes, but I'm no profiteer. Sun King Avad has named me an envoy to the Banuk. I work on their behalf, looking for sacred relics to return to their homeland, Ben-Ur. I'm especially interested in wooden figures that are sometimes found near Banuk rock paintings. If you have any, I have valuables to trade for them.
Yeah, but let's talk about more
Tell
about
me
the wooden
more
figures.
about these Banuk figures.
Simple wood sculptures made by Arnak, a legendary hunter who was exiled from Ban-Ur for killing his chief. He left the figures near painted stones in places that reminded him of his homeland. Later, his tribe declared him innocent. Now they see him as a kind of wandering hero and want those figures back. I do what I can to help him get them, including trade for them, if you have any.
So now they consider him a wandering hero. That's really interesting. I wonder if we could have picked up on any of those, any of that story up in the cut that we missed. I wonder. A wandering hero.
You
What about
said the
you?
king named you an envoy to the Banuk?
Yes, I've been to Ban-Ur many times, and the Wirek chiefs trust me. I help them maintain diplomatic ties with Avad. Some say they're a mysterious people, but their ways make a lot of sense to me. All you have to do is be the best. Doesn't matter if you're born high or low, man or woman. They respect skill, not some fool notion of heritage.
I see the appeal.
I wish more Karja did. Anything they don't understand, they call backward or savage.
That's really interesting, her being Karja, that she thinks that way and she admires the Banuk. Everyone we spoke to within the Karja tribe has not had that. They're very proud of their heritage, and they're quite elitist in their outlook. So when they look at other tribes, they look downwards, and she really respects that the Banuk's ethic, work ethic. So she is after these figurines, so she can have them.
You ready? Let's trade then.
She can bloody well have them. I should like that one, perhaps that one, and that one. And we've got all those. Okay, what should we sell? I think we can probably sell quite a lot. How much space we got here? We're low. Let us sell those. And a load of those. Sell those. Sell that. And all these. We'll keep those. We will get rid of that. Sell desert glass. Ancient necklace. It's given a bit of space, isn't it? Okay. Farewell, my dear.
Come on back if you find any Banuk goods.
So, David, it's really not a bad idea if you think about it, but just the practical way of him being alive is hard to think about and believe. It is. It definitely is. So, Ted Farrow, he dealt with the Alphas from afar. It says he is in a bunker in Thebes, it says. And I always assumed it's Thebes, Egypt, because of his... he's kind of got an Egyptian thing going on with the Kopesh and the Scarab and the Pharaoh line of robots. They've all got sort of Egyptian thing going on for it. But actually, there is a Thebes in America, a small town. It's kind of mid-east America. I can't remember where it is. Maybe someone could have a look at it up. And I just think that perhaps he is in his bunker there. I think someone calls it the pyramid, but I wonder if that's just artistic language. But he's also mentioned in one of the things that he's with his crackpot friends or something like that, or so there are other people there that are perhaps egging him on in his silly ways, and maybe they've got access to the technology, the cryogenics, or the life extension that was so prevalent in the 40s and 50s of the game. Not sure. You probably never get to talk to Derval anymore, but he's below the sun ring. My guess on Well-Dressed Lady is that Elysium was made to work and lasted through, so that the Earth was never truly lifeless. That is another possibility. They would have had to get round the sterilisation thing. Perhaps they weren't all sterilised, but they only had enough food and water to last a little time. But maybe if we dig deeper and think about that, maybe there was some people there that sort of killed off whoever else because they wanted to last forever, and they had access to this life extension stuff as well. So that's another possibility. I now have visions of Ted Farrow looking like Kane from Robocop 2 if he's still alive. Yeah, Rev. I imagine him with us, the big reveal, and he's this haggard bag of skin and bones in a seat, and he maybe claps eyes on Aloy and said, Elisabet, is that you? Oh my God, is that you, Elisabet? Oh my God, you're still alive? I thought you died. Okay, so we've got machine resources, flower collectibles. We haven't got all those. Mystery boxes, eclectic vessel. What have we got? We've got all of the aircom. Do we hand those in? The locations of those to someone? Mystery boxes, vessels, hunting, eclectic. Let's go and see the eclectic collectibles man. What's he got?
Could you spare a moment to speak of the finer things? Ah, you're back. Did you bring me something lovely?
He's the Metal Flowers guy. Okay, we've heard
Till
about
we meet
him.
again, my noble Nora. Let's have a chat.
Okay.
No, a colorful
We're going up
discussion.
to over here to speak to these guys. Palace of the Sun. Then we're going to have a rest. But I think we need to think about what we're going to wear. And the first thing we have is a combat situation. And I thought perhaps we could wear the Kaja Silks Heavy to get over the melee aspects of it. I think that might be pertinent, but also they're probably doing ranged combat as well. But let's wear this. I like it. There's a fair few other outfits that we haven't got a hold of that might have been nice too.
Machines or bandits try to get past me. They'll have a fight.
Okay. KG, maybe Vast Silver. She does look like a hologram made of hard light. Yeah, that's also possible. And we're going to the Palace of the Sun, yeah. Speak to these guys. That's also possible. Vast Silver was an AI that got away with itself. The lady in the Firebreak projects, is it Alice? She was involved in that project for a while, and she hated the fact that it escaped. And apparently it showed up again on a message board for a horror movie. And I always thought that maybe Travis Tate had something to do with it because he loved horror movies. Maybe he's got something to do with Vast Silver's escape, maybe. I've always thought that. But yes, maybe Vast Silver. Maybe Vast Silver has managed to, yes, like you say, hard light. Managed to be a really sort of advanced hologram. Is it possible Ted's consciousness could be saved and implanted in a computer or something? Or is that too sci-fi for this time period? I don't know. I mean, the AI is pretty special. So maybe, if we're in the Assassin's Creed universe, that they subject 16, Clay Kazmarek, put his consciousness into the Animus before he died. Obviously, different universe, but maybe they could have come up with something like that. Okay, let's go and speak to Avad. So, he knows something's crazy's going on in Meridian. He knows that the Eclipse are on their way, I think. Hello, mate. He's a nice chap. Definitely does try to come on to Aloy at some stage, but he's a nice bloke.
Aloy, what brings you to Meridian?
A threat. Helis commands a legion of fanatics called the Eclipse. They will attack soon from the west, with an army of ancient war machines. But that's not the worst of it. They'll bring a mind with them, god, demon, machine, whatever you want to call it. It's called Hades. And it doesn't want Meridian at all. It wants the Spire. And if it gets there, it will send out a call, waking more ancient machines, more than we could ever defeat. All will be lost. We can't let that happen.
I'm trying to understand, but my responsibility lies with Meridian.
Meridian isn't the target, Avad. You have to defend the Spire.
Perhaps the Vanguard, Your Radiance.
Yes. Send them to the Spire. Aaron knows Aloy. He won't question it.
And have the city guard fortify the western ridge. There they can be seen to protect Meridian and the Elite, where the Spire rests.
Aloy, allow me to apologize for my behavior before. After everything that happened with Ursa, I was confused. If we're to fight together on the brink of life and death, I'd prefer to do so with your forgiveness.
Then you have it. As long as you don't confuse me with her again.
Even a king can learn his lesson. Good then. I'm glad that's behind us. Now, it will take time to prepare our defenses. Please, tell me what you know of our enemies. Everything.
I don't know about everything, but I'll tell you what I can.
There is a fair amount going on of ours. So talk to Blameless Murad. He's a cagey character. Do you think we'll see more of him? He's very cold and stern and seems to be very scheming. But we don't get into that with him. But from what I can gather, I don't think we see much of the Karja in the Forbidden West. I could be wrong, but in the Gaia cast, Ben McCraw, I think his name is, seemed to allude to the fact that the Karja haven't been focused on so much. So I don't know if we will.
Have you spoken to Blameless Murad?
No.
Not yet, but I will.
He wishes to speak to you. Defensive preparations are his responsibility.
His and ours. Okay, that's highlighted. Okay, Blameless Murad. Let's see how cagey you are in this conversation.
Quietly does it.
Quietly
Anakin
does
City
it.
will only create another enemy.
Sounds like.
And do keep me appraised of each new arrival.
Sounds a bit like Hannibal Lecter. I do. I've got oodles.
Ah, Aloy. Preparations are underway on the ridge defenses and at the Spire. Word was sent to every corner of the Sundom. Our allies offered their steel. Some came for Meridian, others for shards. But many came for you, by name.
For me.
Don't be so humble.
So this is the first she's sort of heard about it. She'd never thought that so many people would come. Let's talk about the ridge.
The ridge will be the front line. That's where the city guard are holding?
Yes, bolstered by some of the irregulars I spoke of before. The Oseram cannons that thundered Meridian's walls in the Liberation will now defend us. You're welcome to tour the defenses.
Yes, I think we will.
And the spire. Erend and the vanguard are there?
Indeed. Clashing breastplates together and testing out their battle cries, I suppose. A number of the Nora have also arrived at the spire. They have resisted the offer of a royal audience. Perhaps you could parley with them.
I will.
Okay. We're going to parley with everyone.
All we can do is wait for the attack.
Exactly. It's not a feeling I cherish, but our spotters at Evening Sign report there's still no movement in the west. So, if there's more you need to do elsewhere, seize this time to do it. Otherwise, I've made the apartment of Olin Delverson available to you. You can sleep there, if sleep comes.
You can sleep there, if sleep comes. Should it come, then you sleep. Up to you, really. It's quite creepy sleeping in Olin's apartment. We've got another damaged Sobeck journal. Fantabulous. And we've not read... Have we read any of these? But let's read this one. Last time I visited Prime was November of last year. Months since have been a blur. Flew out last night to oversee installation of the central armature and the master override. You're welcome, Ted. That obviously added a bit of bloody time onto the situation, didn't it? Thanks, Ted. Which was completed by 04:30, so I decided to grab a few hours of sleep before heading back to Zero Dawn. Called Gaia before I bedded down, ostensibly to update her on the site plan. The truth is I missed her. I've developed a habit of speaking to her before I sleep. It seems to be the only thing that calms me these days. Woke to a message from Oswald, here we go. The Odyssey launched yesterday, so terrestrial life's chance of survival has doubled. Why? Then do I feel so uneasy? I just keep wondering what kind of world Far Zenith will create if the ship reaches its destination so many decades from now. And I worry about that alpha build of Apollo. So much knowledge, so few restraints, and no fail-safes. How will they avoid repeating our mistakes? What's to stop them from playing God? Forwarded the Odyssey message to the Alphas. Naoto replied in less than a minute, with a poem, of course. The Building of the Ship by Longfellow, and it's long, all right. I didn't read of all of it, but it seems to be about launching a ship rather than building one. I think Naoto's in charge of the sub-function for fauna. So Naoto's very into poetry. And of Japanese. And there was a few haikus in there. If anyone's played Ghost of Tsushima, there is a gameplay mechanic in there where we choose the lines of haikus, and usually 3 lines that relate or don't, but a kind of very, very kind of interesting, brief, often very simple poetry. So there were a few haikus in that poetry, so that makes sense. I didn't read it all, but it seems to be about launching a ship rather than building one. This stanza, or couplet, or whatever, leapt out at me. Humanity with all its fears, with all its hopes of future years, is hanging breathless on thy fate. Yeah, Odyssey and Zero Dawn both. Speaking of which, I should get back to ZD. Guess I should stop by Naoto's lab and check on Demeter's progress. So yeah, that's the sub-function. If I can get out of there without a volume of Tennyson pressed into my hands, I'll count myself lucky. Till next time. Okay, well, a few more might pop up at a later date. So review the preparation at the ridge. Who's this? And rest. So we'll go and do this first. So let's head over to review at the ridge first. And then let's head up to the spire. Oh, the spire. The spire, created, of course, you. And you. The spire, created, of course, to send the the shutdown codes for all the robots that were around. It took Gaia that long to decipher them all. And yes, so that is what we're protecting, because Hades wants to bring his consciousness there so we can send another code out to activate the machines again, so that they can start the process of shutting down this version of the terraform, of Gaia's terraform, to reset it. That's what it wants to do. So KG Ted was just a businessman. He put all his trust money on Elisabet, which makes me think he didn't outsource work for a new AI or any life extension techniques, as all of his talents was busy with Zero Dawn. Well, I'm not sure how much of his talent was busy with Zero Dawn. I think it was mostly his money that was busy with Zero Dawn. Elisabet wasted a lot of time batting him off, so he was interested. He wanted a hand in it, but she spent a lot of time deflecting it, and the alphas created a lot of the tech so that he wouldn't understand. So he was ousted a little bit. So he didn't have any autonomy over it. He was kind of just given a voice because of his money. And of course he would have been overseeing his Elysium, his own Elysium, that he's going to spend all that time in. He didn't want to die. And he was obviously thinking about shutting down the Apollo. So I think he probably kept quite a few minds, offered people space in his Elysium to work on things that he wanted to work on. I think he had endless money at that point. I'm not sure how he would have extracted his money, considering the economy as we know it would have disintegrated. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Petra.
Petra!
Here she is, the guest of honor. I knew there was something about you. Hammered from the stuff they make leaders out of. And I don't say that to every Nora girl who blows through my town.
That happens to you a lot?
Had to build a wall to fend them off.
Good thing I'm persistent then.
I've missed our little talks. Murad asked me to look over the city arsenal. These guns have aged well. That runs in the Osram, no? They were the pride of the Mainspring Forges, so I've taken greater pride in improving them.
Okay, need me to test one out?
Can I try one?
Everybody wants a turn. Have at it then. The target should put up a little less of a fight than those bandit raiders did.
Okay. Now what do we? Spiders going down. Are we trying to get these?
It hits nice and wide. No need to aim like a bow. Range is good. Try the next. See? That'll knock a machine on its ass, ancient or no. With these, I think we could hold off an army.
Any more? You know that I appreciate your help, Petra. This battle, I don't know what's gonna happen.
We'll see each other again, I know it. Next time could be the time I'll convince you to stick with the free heap.
Petra, you know
I do. Always had a weakness for restless girls, though.
She is sweet on Aloy. She is definitely putting herself out there, Petra. Aloy, I don't think, is picking up what she's putting down, and maybe it's gone over her head. Not sure how rampant Aloy's sexuality is. We've seen hide nor hair of any kind of lustful thoughts or connections with people. It's been mostly friendships. I think the closest we've seen is with Val, and that was very cold. Okay, so we've spoken to Petra.
Isn't that
Have you just
him?
polished
From the
that
Battle of
armor,
Dawn?
was it?
We've got
Of course.
Senua.
Isn't that a little...
Nakoa, really, but she looks like Senua's sacrifice,
No.
doesn't she?
Out with it, woman.
Nakoa, you came to fight.
How could I not? During the Red Raid, there was only one Karja butcher the Nora feared more than Zaid.
Helis.
I would stand against any army he leads, no matter how strong. For the Nora he terrorized, for myself, and for my father.
We'll stop him. You have my word.
Your word means a lot, especially now. Because of you, I hear the sacred land is opened. If we win, I can go home. It'll be good to see Jan again. I'm with you, Aloy. Until the end.
Well, that's up for debate, Nakoa. It's open now so that we can sort this threat, but what the matriarchs do afterwards, I'm not sure.
Like you said, we'll stop Helis cold. Together.
KG, true, but maybe he was scared of the possibility of Gaia turning rogue, as his own machines did in the past. Just speculating. Ted is a complex character after all. Of course, you're all just speculating. Yes, yeah, he put that kill switch in there for a reason. What that is isn't abundantly clear. Geneva, up at, what's the prison called? Sunstone Rock? Sunstone Rock? Yeah, she housed some very brutal criminals of various tribes, from various tribes, Tanakh, Utaru, Banuk.
How many men do you think you'll kill in the battle, Luther?
Also, within what I do know is that within Sunstone Rock, there's a character in Forbidden West that is going to be in a character in Forbidden West that was in Sunstone Rock, imprisoned, and I don't know who that would be.
Geneva, they called you back to duty.
So, you're the one behind all this commotion? Who made Sun King Avad finally show his sword arm from behind those robes?
A king can be fierce and fair, Geneva. He's a good man.
A smart man, too. He had Murad offer all my prisoners a royal pardon if they'd fight for Meridian. The whole motley lot of them agreed. Didn't take much convincing.
With your kind of convincing, I don't doubt it.
Ha! This time I went easy on them. Those who commit the crime of attacking Meridian, they'll see less of my lenient side. May the sun blaze at your back, Aloy.
She's a great character. She's even harder to discern. She doesn't want to be in any gender category. She doesn't want to be called female. And she will very vehemently shut that down if you do. Okay, so speaking to these two. Who have we got down here? You want a word, or are we just looking at each other longingly? I love you. I love you. If we get through this, let's leave the Carja army forever. Let's go to Banuk lands like we always wanted to. Let's. Nil. He wanted to kill us earlier, but now he's going to help us.
Nil?
Aloy. They told me your name. I said hair like a splash of blood, tenacious as a scrapper's jaws. I've thought about what you said. Every time, the wound you gave me caught on my ribs.
But I didn't wound you.
Not by metal. Still, I forgive. A duel is such a fleeting joy. If one of us had ended the other, we'd have missed all this. The weight before blood is shed. Like the scrape of a blade across your teeth.
Nil, you're making it difficult to be glad to see you. But you're needed. The battle will be hard.
Hard? I was assured the odds would be near impossible.
And you signed up anyway?
Impossible odds, fine company, killing without consequence. How could I resist?
Okay, that's Nil talk to.
That's a nice spear,
A couple more dudes around here.
Thank you.
I like the way you grip it.
Enough, woman.
Elida had the Romeo and Juliet situation going on with the Shadow Carja.
Elida, I'm pleased to see you, but what are you doing here?
I'm helping prepare for the battle. If Atral were here, we would have fought together. I know it. So I'm doing everything I can. Digging battlements, collecting herbs. Anything that makes a difference. I can't take his place. Nothing can take his place. But I'm here for him. For both of us.
I understand what it was he saw in you.
He'll always be with me. Sun and shadow still meet for a moment. Every dawn and dusk. I should give you this. To help in the battle. By the sun, I hope you don't need it.
Thank you, Alita. Be safe.
So what did she give us there? What did you give us? I'm not sure what she gave us, but that does remind me we've got some treasure boxes. We picked up those boxes, didn't we? Where they are, I do not know. That's resource supply. These are the remarkable, extraordinary reward boxes. No, I don't know where they are. Are they in resources? Are they in weapons? Where on earth are those boxes we picked up? I'm very confused. Okay. So, Dave, he completely undid the Apollo project. He didn't trust future humanity. That is likely. But given into his character, thinking about who he is, his ego, his hope that that humanity, his name won't live on as a calamitous sort of myth. So maybe as well Apollo was shut down so his failure wouldn't perpetuate throughout the ages. Thanks, Will. Thanks for watching the playthrough. Just bought in the West for 69. When did games start costing that? Yeah, it's expensive. The second page of the boxes, thank you. Second page of the boxes. I didn't think there was 2 pages, there are. Kantara's reward box are boxes within boxes. It's like a Russian doll. Like a Russian doll. Some money and crappy weave, crappy weapon coil. Good weapon coil, rubbish weapon coil. Well, after all this collecting late in the game, you'd think there would be more going on. So mod-wise, what do we get? Does it say? Not sure it does. Okay, Teb.
Aloy, I told you I'd be here.
You did, Teb. But have your wounds even had time to heal?
Honestly, if I fought, I'd probably come undone. But don't worry, I'll leave that to the other Nora at the Spire. I brought supplies instead. These Karja have made me an honorary quartermaster, whatever that means.
It sounds impressive.
I could get used to it. We'll be setting up caches of arms and medicine under these banners. Look for them when the fighting starts. Aloy, when you went into the mountain, did the goddess tell you our chances?
She didn't need to. I know we can do this, Teb.
Maybe we can.
It's always the ones you least expect.
This place really couldn't be more different to the sacred land.
This... Oh, another Sobeck journal. Fantastic. Halloween. Travis came by trick-or-treating, dressed up like me. Should have seen that coming. I gave him a half-eaten pack of dandy wafers as a treat and kicked him out. But not before he invited me to some kind of Italian horror extravaganza he organised for Zero Dawn staff. Seriously, as though there isn't enough horror in the world already. Anyway, I was already scheduled to fly out here to Gaia Prime for final inspections with Heres and the President's delegation. Ted was here too, and he was not looking good. He'd obviously made his decision by then. Kept fidgeting and couldn't seem to look me in the face without blinking. I was relieved when he boarded his vert and flew back to Thebes. Gag. So, gag as in joke, or gag as in gag, I feel sick? Thebes. So he's called it Thebes. I wonder if it's the name or it's a literal location. Though I guess I shouldn't complain. If he wants to build himself a deluxe shelter to ride out the apocalypse, let him. Out of Elysium and away from me. Jerez stuck around long enough to give me a detailed briefing on the strategic situation. Basically, we've entered the terminal phase, as though the colour of the sky when I was flying over here wasn't clue enough. Another 2 or 3 weeks and the atmosphere won't be breathable. The last vestiges of European and West African civ brigades are trapped with their backs against the Atlantic. The swarm that scuttled across Antarctica is crossing the Straits of Magellan, about to start its death crawl up South America towards the Amazon. All the work we did to reconstitute the rainforest, and it comes to this. And advanced elements of the Pacific swarms are already skirmishing with units on the Kalmar seawall. The noose is tightening. Projections show we can still finish in time, but a margin of error is plus or minus 10 days, not a good spread. If the plague breaks through ahead of schedule, well, it just can't. I will not let that happen. Enough writing. I need to get back to Zeratorn. Yeah, it's not time for a diary. Elisabet, you've got things to do. Okay, Vanasha and... what's his name again? Uthid. Yes.
Little Huntress, you called, so here I am.
Ready to fight?
Fight? I thought you just wanted tea and conversation. Is there a battle coming? I wasn't informed.
Well, that can't be true. You're always informed.
Ah, so I am. We've only met a few times, and yet you know me so well.
I don't think I know you at all. But I'd like to.
When I hear that line, it usually means something else. Can I tell you a secret?
Of course.
I've been waiting for this fight my whole life. The enemy we face today is the same that turned Meridian into a slave pit and Sunfall into a bloodbath. Fanatics who torture and murder mothers, fathers, families, children, and say it's the will of the sun. I hate them, Aloy. I've got the scars of their whips on my back to prove it. And today, we can get rid of them once and for all. I said I came for you, but that was only half the truth. I came for them. This time, they're not getting away.
I'm with you, Vanasha. We'll fight them together.
And I won't forget it, little Huntress. Tomorrow, may the sun rise in a better world.
Hell yes.
Aloy?
At ease, Uthid. Meridian will be glad to have you on its side. And I am too.
The honor is mine. You saved my epitaph from being a fine soldier but a fool of a man.
I'm hoping you won't need any kind of epitaph just yet.
As the sun wills. When you found me, I was trying to eke out a glorious death. But now, a glorious life seems more preferable. To watch Edelman play in the low gardens again. Still surrounded by a dozen guards, but... what you did, Aloy, it was done well. Although, I can't shake this road, Vanasha. She delights in goading me. Like brazen colors waved before a behemoth.
Do you want me to ask her to stop?
No. I accept it. Well then. Meridian shall stand and shadow shall fall. I swear it.
Here's to that, Uthid.
Okay, well, there's utmost respect for Aloy and all departments around here. And we know exactly why. Okay, we are heading through here. Out, up into... climb up to this spire. This antenna of sorts. Yeah, going the right way. Yeah, Vanasha's awesome. She's most awesome. Let's read this part of the Sobeck journal. We've read it. We've read it. I'm not so clued up on her background. Didn't she... isn't... No, that's a... I'm getting her confused with Ursa. Ursa became... Well, Vanasha became a palace slave, didn't she? Why did she become a slave? She was a... She was one of the slaves, but then she got elevated for something. I can't remember what it was. I can't quite remember her backstory. Okay, onwards and upwards here. Who do we meet first? Oh, our attack. So when I've completed this, I've not done this first, so it's amazing to see them. And Inatut.
Have you come to defend my honor, Inatut?
I know you don't need any help with that, but from all I've heard, you found yourself a good fight here. So I'll stand this ground with you.
You won't have ever seen a fight like this. And we only get one shot at it.
I've been told I'm in over my head before, Nora girl. You know what I say. I'm always in over my head.
So he's not got much to say, but he is going to lend his aggression to the situation, as is our attack. But maybe he's got more to say about Cyan.
That Ice Hunter doesn't talk much, except to herself.
He's got nothing to say.
Artok? I didn't expect you to come all this way.
Oh, I didn't either.
It's true, I am a stranger in this green and snowless land. Aurea forgave the Karja, but I never did. Still, I was compelled to come for my once chieftain. It's good to see you leading again. This one of Nowarak, he may have taken too many blows to the head, but he's a good fighter, and strong. This young ice hunter seeks to prove herself also. Her spark reminds me of Aurea's in our youth. And I'm proud to take my place behind you on this hunt. A great challenge.
Survive and prevail, right?
There is no other way.
Yeah, they find it very odd down here in this land of comfort. So they don't usually stick around long in Meridian. So they're just here for us.
You're the hunter from the Banuk Grove.
I remember you also, Nora. The machines shook free of their slumber after you arrived. Raged and fought.
Well, that wasn't my fault.
No, I'm thanking you. That night, I decided I would not go back to Banur. I would take my hunt into these lands. So many machines, even demons. Spidery, skittering, without the blue light in them. Dead things that must be killed again.
Our enemies dug up an army of them.
An army? Yes, that's why I came. Good. I'll wait.
Okay, so she's concerned about the machines being dug up, and gonna be more to be dug up as well. So many people to play, we've helped, that have come to help. It must be quite overwhelming. And they're here for her. They don't quite understand the threat. They don't quite understand the enormity. They've not been privy to all of the information. So they're just here under the guise, under the notion that Aloy is says it's serious. She needs help. I'm there to help. No questions asked. Here's the main one, isn't it? Talana. We'll see her in Forbidden West, that's for sure.
Talana, why are you here?
I'm your hawk. Where else would I be?
Defending Meridian with Avad?
I leave that to the rest of the Lodge. I will not stand aside while one of mine fights alone. Not again.
Are you sure you...
You're risking your life for all of us. You can't ask me to stand by and watch. Not when I have the power to change it.
Then I won't ask you.
It's settled. I will fight by your side. My only request...
Name it.
Leave the biggest machine for me.
No promises.
You're quite welcome to it. There's a Stormbird up for grabs. There's a Deathbringer. I thought there were some dudes down here. I thought we could view Erend and speak to Erend over there, but maybe not. Ah, here's our Nora folk.
It rises taller than the highest tree.
These Karja in their frilled armor look like turkeys.
But there are so many. And now we are so few.
They are not our foe. Not this time.
Quiet now. She comes.
She does come.
Anointed.
Don't call us that, remember?
War Chief Sona. War Chief, you seem uncomfortable.
The Nora do not belong here. I do not belong here. I will fight the metal devil that threatens us all, but my place is in the sacred land. The wrongness here jags at me like an arrowhead.
I'm sorry to put you through this.
Do not be sorry. This will be ended. My spear, my word. The Carja do not impress me. To build so tall is to invite the fate of the ancients.
Yeah, she's not impressed with this world. She wants to do the business and get home. Val and friends.
Greetings, Aloy. Don't. You don't need to bow. The Anointed doesn't like it.
She doesn't much like being called anointed either. It means a lot to have you here, Varl.
I gave my word.
So, Meridian, what do you think?
I've seen many new things since I first met you. I should thank you.
Varl, what's wrong?
You really want to know? All right. I'm in a foreign land, a tainted land, defending a faithless city that looks like nothing I've seen. From something I can't imagine. And you, after all that's happened, all you've done, I feel like I should drop to my knees and worship you, but I know you don't want that.
Boy, things are pretty tough for you, huh? Thanks for telling the other Nora not to bow. It's the last thing I need.
Don't be too hard on them. They only joined this fight because the Anointed bid it so.
Is that why you came?
No. I would have come just to see you one more time. And we must fight a metal devil, because the goddess says. Or because you say.
I think the goddess and I are in agreement. We're both glad you're here.
So am I.
So if you remember Val back at All Mother Mountain, was talking, Aloy offered to sort of school him in some of the information she heard and take him to see some of the ruins and talk him through it. And although he wholeheartedly believes in her and the severity of going there is not as the matriarchs and their sort of faith has said in the past, but he's just not ready for it. He's too steeped in his upbringing, too steeped in the Nora ways, and he checked that. He said, look, I'm not ready, maybe one day. But he definitely has feelings for her. I'm not sure they're sent back. That interaction with Vanasha, although it just came from Vanasha, she saw innuendo in what Aloy said. I'm just an old romantic. I just want to see Aloy realise her sexuality if she has any, and go for it. Fall in love, man. Fall in love. Why not?
So who are these guys?
They call themselves the Eclipse.
What does that even mean?
It's when the moon gets in front of the sun, idiot.
Is that supposed to sound scary or something?
I don't know. They used to be Carja. Carja are always yammering about sun and shade.
Well, if they used to be Carja, how tough can they be?
Yeah, they're best guys just like birds. We'll rip their little feathers off.
Let's not get cocky, boys.
Okay.
Aloy. So here we are again, gearing up for a fight. Only this time it sounds like the bad guys have a lot more firepower. What are we up against, really?
I'm not sure. But there's gonna be a lot of them, and they'll have machines. And if they get past us, it's not just Meridian that will fall. The rest of the world will go with it.
Well, that's big. It sounds like our kind of fight. Right, guys? Well, where do they put the vanguard?
At the front of the line!
And why?
Steel before iron!
And what are we gonna do?
Hit them like a hammer till they can't hit back!
Damn right! You hear that? Nobody's getting past the vanguard. We're here for Meridian. And we're here for you.
Thank you, Erend. Ursa would be proud.
Only if we win.
There's a lovely moment with him, isn't it? After one of the main missions, how he hit upon her pretty strong, and he thought he had a good chance with her, but it turns out he didn't, and he was just happy to have a minute of her time or a moment of her time. I thought that's great from Erend. It's been what? Such a good thing. 43 hours since Hera's warned me. Said collapse of the eastern line was imminent. Swarms launching some kind of pincer maneuver versus the Wichita salient. So I had a good look about what the Wichita salient. So obviously it's an area, but a salient in mathematics is a kind of angle. So it suggests perhaps that it's a defence, a line of defence that backed into a kind of corner, maybe a mountain range or something, and protecting in a kind of acute angle, maybe. 5 or 6 days more, I think Gaia could have launched without our help. I really do. We had a scramble. Zero Dawn became a madhouse. Absolute bedlam. Every team rushing to stabilise code and lock it down as Gammas got evacuated, then Betas. Once Gaia was on her way, I gathered the Alphas together to give them the bad news. I felt like I was going to throw up, but they already knew, of course. They knew the work wasn't really finished. Close, but not quite there. Still tests to run, kinks to smooth, work to do, so they accepted it. No Elysium for us. We'll spend the rest of our lives here, testing, polishing, each subordinate function to perfection. Guess that's what you get when you recruit a bunch of obsessive perfectionists. Managed not to cry until I got back to my office. So here we are, setting up Gaia Prime. And yeah, such a close thing. Makes me feel nauseated all over again when I contemplate how the fate of life could hinge on coincidence. If I'd never proposed the Lightkeeper protocol, there never would have been living spaces constructed here. If I'd abandoned the protocol sooner, the necessary life support systems never would have been installed. If. At least we won't have to endure the creepiness of raising and training clones of ourselves. The genetic material was never processed out of the cradle sites, so it's not even possible, for which I'm glad. I really, really wouldn't want to spend time around a young Travis Tate raised by Travis Tate. No, it'll be up to us to perfect Gaia, one generation only. Update. That was General Harris. The salient has collapsed. US Robot Command expects to be overrun in 2 days, which gives us 72 hours best to lock down and seal up. Buried alive, for life's sake. I'll go tell the others. Yes, well reminded.
My armor's getting itchy.
That person of which the language I can't understand. Beautiful glyphy writing. What language is that? What writing is that? What language is that from? Do tell. Be interested. Where is he? He's over here, isn't he? Or is he over here? Yes, there he is.
O great sun, how does your gaze fall? In approval or approach? Turn our heads with your daily pilgrimage, from the east where we came, to the west where only you may go. You grant cold metal the warmth of life, and let the machines bask in your great shining. For you, the shadows shrink and part and gather again only at your allowance without form. Your eyes, the day, your ears, the priests, your lips, the radiant Sun King, as there was before and will be again, your light.
Naman. Yes, he's a wonderful character. He's praying against the shadow, where the light meets the shadow. That's where he's praying against.
Naman, I should have known if there was going to be a Sun Priest here, it would be you.
And if the Sun King had allowed Outlanders to set foot upon the Alight, this Aloy could only be you. I wish the circumstances were different, or that the Psalms of the Sun could give you peace of mind. But if you'll allow me one pontification...
Go ahead.
You've shown strength and compassion. Our enemy's only a desperate hate. Both sides claim the blessing of the sun. But the sun that I pray to, it would bestow it upon yours.
You know, Naman, I'm already under some pretty heavy divine pressure, but I'll try to live up to it.
The tribes united against Shadow. How could that not be the sun's will? The Ataru have a proverb. Green grows from the ashes of a forest blaze.
Ah, talking about Ataru there. Yes, he was involved with an Ataru in his mission.
From what I could gather, the Nora believed their goddess chose them for a fated battle.
Okay, so he's going through the tribes here.
The Oseram believe in many things. The forges hiss, the charcoals crack, the creak of the fermenting barrel. Complex omens.
All related to their material that they use and the drink that they imbibe.
The Ataru have a proverb. Green grows from the ashes of a forest blaze.
I'm looking forward to meeting the Ataru. They seem like a very positive, down-to-earth, wholesome bunch. I imagine they've got their fierce warriors and their dangers, and I think they probably stick up for themselves. But we've got some exciting things ahead of us. That's for sure. Okay. Let's do this then. Let's get into this. We've got a human battle, a machine battle, and then we've got an almighty battle. I haven't got the Shield Weaver outfit. Is this the same one? Yes, we've read that. I haven't got the Shield Weaver outfit. I'm not going to go down that road.
The attack. Is it Helis?
So we'll have to see. We may need a few stabs at the various fights, but we'll give it a go. It might not be pretty, but we'll do it.
What's happening? Is the battle stopped?
This is pretty funky, isn't it? It's pretty odd, because considering we have the option to kill Olin, we then go and sleep in his bed. That's
Olin's
pretty
apartment.
macabre.
Feels empty. Should I sleep? Did I leave anything unfinished?
Did I? Is there anything I need to do? She's got a mosaic of Thunderjaw there, and a Stormbird. So G Sudi, a little off topic. Will Subnautica be continued? I hope so. I had to, the nature of my living dynamic changed, so I couldn't do as many Let's Plays, so I had to focus on one and wanted to get this finished before Horizon Forbidden West, but it's changed further still. I've got to be back at my day job now, in which I get plenty of time to work on the channel, but I think Let's Plays will have to go, but live streams may replace it, or I'll do Let's Plays but a much slower pace. I haven't decided yet. It changes on a daily basis, but I would like to, and that is my intention. Okay. Let's rest. Let's have a think.
How could you sleep, Elisabet, with a weight like this pressing on you? How did you, Rost, after you lost your family? Silence? Are you there? Guess I shouldn't ask ghosts for advice.
The looming shadow complete.
Ma'am, there are signs from the west. Sun King Avad awaits you at the Temple of the Sun.
The face of extinction. This is quite ominous, this.
Campfires, perhaps? Massing forces for the long march to the city gates?
That's not wood smoke.
Then what is it?
The end. Or how it begins, anyway.
The old world machines come marching in. Corruptor, the Deathbringer. It's only the Metal Devil that can't join the party.
The Deathbringers you spoke of?
To the guns! To the guns! Now!
By the sun, do as she says!
Taking orders from me now.
Loaded! All of you, be ready to fire! Will the guns hold them back?
We're about to find out.
Helis!
No! Rally the vanguard. Send reinforcements.
Aloy, no!
We need those guns!
He will cut you down!
Not this time!
You have vexed me.
Okay. We
Should have
didn't
fought me in a
prepare
summary event.
at all.
Why do you fight?
Okay, I'm utilising this because it's quick and dirty and easy. Have I killed him already?
It's inevitable.
Okay, that's... Okay, we are going to die in a minute. Let's run around. Okay, let's set these guys on fire if we can. Oh my goodness, textures!
Only endless
Again. You can have that. Right, let's see what the explosion does here. Not a lot.
Meridian must run red to be cleansed.
Okay, that's him gone. Right, let's try and hit him up with some hardcore. Oh, I'm gonna die.
He's quick.
Some hardcore goes.
Blocked again. Damn him.
Yes, he's blocking them. Now what? Let's try sticky bomb. Okay, let's just get some lead on the go.
Bridge can't take much more of this.
Good. Right, we've got that to use as well. You must remember. We're taking him down. We're cheesing it.
He's quick.
He's quick. Can I get his...
Blocked again. It's giving way!
Let's get him down.
What are you before the
It's
terror
working
of
somewhat.
the sun?
The one who will take you down!
Oh dear. Have this. Have that. Yes.
Possible. I am chosen.
This was not meant to be.
Oh, this is what this was built for. You stole poor Rost, so you're not getting a heart from me. The indifference of I don't have time for this is inviting, but god damn, I hope this hurts.
Chosen. Hades only chose you because you're a fool. A sadistic butcher too stupid to see you were being used. Your whole life was a failure. And soon, no one will even remember you. Turn your face to the sun and think about that!
Bitch. Ah. He won't heal us from that one, will he?
I can always use these.
Okay, yes, it was definitely going to be a situation where we told him exactly what for. Yes, we were indifferent. Yes, we realise he's just a pawn in Hades' quest for Meridian, for the Spire. And he's just being used by everyone. He was kind of manipulated by Duran. He was manipulated by Silence and Bahavas and
Got too much already.
all sorts. Okay. Next up, we have got to combat the Stormbird. So we are going to change our outfit to this. The Osram Spark Worker Heavy. And that will help us, I believe, when the Stormbird comes to play. We probably want to freeze up the Stormbird. So what we're going to do is we're going to, yes, keep the rope caster there, but we're going to get the ice rail going on, I think, at the top. So when we bed it down, we're going to freeze her up. Skills wise, we can just grab this silly little machine repair. No, we can't. We need 3. All the supply crates. How are we doing for? Let's get on to our health potions. How are we doing? Right, we're going to grab the Osram weapons that were used to take down the walls of Meridian 2 years ago to topple Duran, but now we're going to use them. They're improved.
Where do you
sexy.
need me?
Take up a can on the platform.
Oh goodness, I want this. Why is that coming out? Okay, that's it.
Here it comes. Better move.
Oh dear. Okay, that's it. Oh dear. I don't really want to keep picking up the gun, that's why.
Gotta get to another platform.
One more. Where's the other one? That's good. Ravager, I think. They're going to come in waves, which is helpful.
South! They're coming from the south!
Okay. Might pay us to get a bit closer, but
You're not gonna like this.
that worked nice. Okay, back up. Oh, goodness. Do one more in the Deathbringer. Missed.
Time to go.
Oh dear. Right, okay. I'm corrupted. Certainly corrupted. Didn't think about that one. Right, let's...
Look to the west!
Okay, look to the west, so let me grab this first. Take that, yes indeed. Right to the west. Let's try and take out the attackers first. We don't want to come up here. Oh, nearly. Yes. Doing well from just up here. I haven't changed platforms.
No sign! A wall in the attack!
I'm doing better than I usually do in this situation.
Be wary.
Chance to catch a breath and prepare.
Prepare indeed. Well, let's think what we need. Let's sort all this out. Oh, we're out of bloody wire, if you can bloody believe it. I think your man said he was going to leave us some things, so maybe that would be useful if we pick
Raise
these up.
arms again!
Okay, west indeed. Right, you are going down, sir. Dead. Missed. Oh shit. Oh my goodness, okay. Let's rethink this a little bit. Oh shit, hell. Okay, let's come down here. Come on, pick up the cannon. Oh my word, right. One more for you. Right, Deathbringer. Peter. Bringer.
Don't want to be here when that hits.
It takes so long to pick it back up. Oh my goodness. Right, let's utilise our fire for a while. Good. Right, where's your friends? You can still do that, mate. I'm just here. You can still use that cannon. Don't mind me. Swipe. You do. Have that. Right, we are low as you get. One more.
All shadows descend on me.
Incoming. Gotta drop it and move.
Come on. Oh dear.
Don't want to be here when that hits.
Oh one more. Into you. Where's the other one over there? I'm going to die. I am going to. Isn't going well. Isn't going well at all. Got that out of the way. Come on, pick it up. No, that's you. Oh, and it's a Kopesh. It's a scarab, what do they call them? Could do with the shield weaver outfit right now. It's off with. Okay, right. Let's try and take off some more parts. Okay, he's gone. Stormbird, okay. This is a lot. Oh, Christ alive. That's he gone. Picking that up for kicks. Right, so let's do what we said we were going to do. Where's he gone? Where's our Stormbird? Right, is this not working? Got the right outfit on. That's not working. Working as I'd hoped. I've got no wire. I've got no wire. Being kind enough to not hit us at the moment, but I don't think we'll have enough time to get the... So let's try and freeze him up. Yes, chests and bags unopened. That's a good idea. Okay, that is a very good idea. Come on, wire. Wire! Wire, yes! Okay, right, let's try and freeze this bad boy up. Okay.
Out already?
seems to be working. We seem to have taken his primary weapons. So at the moment we're cheesing it, I think. Okay, let's try and freeze him up again. Okay. Okay, we've got him. Now let's try and get rid of this death bringer. Very close, and we're gonna die. There we go. That is that, and that was scary.
Incoming!
Broken down the walls of Meridian. They're in.
Aloy! Aloy! Aloy!
Tab?
By all, Mother, you survived. I thought you were killed.
The others, are they...
No. Wounded, but alive, mostly. The machines blasted through, then kept going. They marched on the spire, dragging that thing with them.
Take care of the others, Tab. I've gotta go.
The thing has been grabbed. Okay, right. Just need to pause it there a moment. I shall be back in the shake of a donkey's tail. Bear with me. Okay, I'm back. Right, we've got Hades being dragged through by Eclipse. They've used the Death Bringers to cause fire and havoc and all manner of crazy stuff. Did my mic not mute then? I tried to mute it.
Hurts. Better tend to it.
Off we go. Okay, we're going to pick up things as we go. There's plenty of boxes to be had. Oh, which way are we going? Kind of a bit lost. Oh, we're doing okay. Just look at Meridian. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Beautiful,
Aloy,
beautiful
go.
city.
We'll draw them. Now you face the true sun, shadow demons.
Okay, we've got some long legs here. I don't think we need to concern ourselves.
The spire calls for you.
Away from this.
Okay, across the river here. I'm not sure I've been this way before. Okay, we've got some
This'll help.
of these guys mixing it up, scrappers, but we're not concerned. We want to pick up as much stuff as we can. We need health. We need wire. That will be forthcoming.
I will answer your challenge.
Let's just see if we can craft any more of these potions. We can do a bit, but not much. Oh yes, we can. We can do plenty. Okay, well that will help.
My strength is not yet spent. I earned it by ice and snow.
It's begun. Hades is transmitting.
Look at it. He's up there already. So this is at the Sun Ring, at Sunfall. One of the slaves is having a kick around the soccer ball, but up comes Deathbringer. This at the Nora lands, outside of the Embrace. Another one was buried under that. You see the nanobot, I think it's nanobots that go into the trees and take all of the biological material and bring it back and use it as fuel. That's how they're activating them. That's why the biomass, why the world went to parts, because it was just consuming and consuming. So yes, that's the sort of thing that the
Signal. It must have gotten through the defenses.
the corruption is some kind of nanobot technology.
It's Vanguard. I have to get up there.
Okay, they're all there. Right, what are we going to wear now? Let's wear a... we could wear fire, or we could wear a ranged modification with a bit of fire. That protects against fire and also a little bit of ranged. That might be a shout. What should I go for? Let's do this one for now. If he starts chucking out fire, I might change.
Gotta keep going.
Oh!
Keep pushing. I knew this wouldn't be easy.
So she's talking to herself in the same way she did for the proving. She's getting through this obstacle on the way to an end game, and she's speaking to herself. It's kind of bookended that way. It's quite a nice touch, just like the proving was.
Aloy!
They're alive.
It's Aloy! Well, you can see that.
We thought you'd fallen at the ridge.
No, the ridge fell on me. Look, there isn't a lot of time left. I have to face Hades.
Not alone.
It's my fight. I can't ask you to come with me.
We were about to go over the top anyway, right? Right.
Hawk and Thrush, let's go.
We got all of them.
Stock up.
They're all good friends now. So this is where Erend and this is where the three of them meet. Considering they're going to be our friends in the West, they're very important, these three, and it's interesting that they've put them here together. It's obviously something they had in their mind already, that they were going to be involved in a little bit of a tease, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how far the Forbidden West came along. But anyway, what weapons we got? Should we try out... I don't know what the range is like on that. Let's put the blast sling back. We need lots of blaze. I don't think I'm going to use that one, so what should we place there instead? We could try and freeze it up as well. I don't know how easy it is to freeze. I'm not sure. Let's put this up here anyway and just give it a go. Okay. Oh my goodness. I haven't got many of those hardcore arrows. I've got plenty of blue. I've got bugger all blaze left, damn it. Have we got any more in the treasure boxes? Very little. Okay. Am I meant to jump that? What am I meant to do there? Oh, silly Billy. Silly Billy, they've taken down 40% of your health there. Right, so there will be resource boxes around the place up here.
Arrival of Entity has been anticipated. Entity will not halt transmission. To contrary, calculations are precise. Presence of Entity has been accounted for.
Okay. This is going to hurt. Right, let's try these fire sticky bombs. Okay, let's try these proximity bombs. Not taking too much away there. Oh dear. Right. Let's try burning in that one. Heating maps to get some sexy parts out. Okay. That's good. Utilise this for a moment, and I'm going to try and piece him up again. Okay, sending out another signal. For what for? No, don't you dare. Right, okay, let's use him up again. Come on, ease up. Okay, that's good. Here he goes. Oh my word. What have we got left? I want to blow your guns off. I want to blow your tits off. You beast.
Intensify aggression.
The hammer's coming down,
beast. Right, smooth.
Time enough to beat the machine.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Fight alone.
Not to fight alone, you're right, but here we go. No! Oh my days. What I would like is to get that move over here. That's not working, that's not working. Right, let's try and get him from a different side. Let's have a look up here as well for the treasure. Sexy bits open, so we're going to grab these sexy bits. Don't you dare, don't you dare.
We've got time.
Okay, it sent out another call for some beasts, that's not good. Okay, okay. Oh my days. Set it on fire once more. Just missed. Just missed.
All of you, focus on the new machines!
Okay, where are these new machines? Hell yes, that's one. That's a dude down already. Hell yes. Okay. Come on, come down here, mate. I got you.
With the time I've got left, I can do this.
Heads up, Aloy, they're coming!
Oh dear. Well, I was out of ammo there. I've got nothing in the way of stuff. Do some stuff.
We've taken out the corrupted. Now only the metal beast remains!
Okay, what's that giving us? Need some blaze. Okay. Okay, what's he doing? What's he doing? Oh no, don't want to go up there. We ended it tragically. Okay, right. Right, let's put some of these in it. Doesn't take a lot away. Yes, indeed. There's not much of him left, is there? There he is. Right in your fanny.
My way's
right
clear.
In there.
Finish it, Aloy!
Oh, yes.
Finish it now!
Talana we have. Val we have done it. We have taken him out. Beyond repair. He is purple. What has he got for us? He's got some metal shards and a fair amount of coils that we won't be using. Deathbringer heart, metal burn, metal vessels. Fantabulous. Now, let's speak to these guys if we can. Not yet, it seems. Talana, Val, Errand. We'll see you in the west. Okay, Hades, I'm not sure how much of a villain you are, or how much work you're just doing.
System threat imminent.
The work
I'm more than a threat.
you were made to do. But sir, the time has come to a probably temporary end. You've got your clutches around the spire. You sent out your signal, but we can reverse it. And we have the tools to do that.
Master Override armed. To activate, state name and rank.
Elisabet Sobeck. Alpha Prime.
Master override activated. Purging extinction protocol.
Pleased as you might be there, Aloy. Blame this Mirage's happy look. He's animated. Guards celebrating with his guards. Data integrity restored. Gaia log, 3rd of Feb.
Okay, Gaia. Sorry about that. Where was I?
You were telling a story.
Right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, it was a children's electronics kit, but I hacked the wiring to an auto battery and solar PV. So the grass caught fire. And, so did a tall pine that had stood there, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elisabet, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If you had had a child, Elisabet, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable, even. But with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elisabet.
Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow.
So she's enshrined in the flowers that the fauna subordinate function delivers. That puts around the metal flowers. They deigned her for that as well. I'll just turn this down a little bit, the game audio. Wow. She found her mom in the end. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. That's been her driver from the very, very beginning, is to find an answer to who her mother was. She lives in a matriarchal society whereby the mothers, the women and the mothers are the most important thing. And if you haven't got one, you're named motherless, which is obviously a horrible slight in a matriarchal society. So she has always thought that it needed to find her mummy, and or just have an interaction with her, and that's the best she could get. The best she could get is visit her resting place and listen to a thought of who she'd like her daughter to be, and it happens to emulate Aloy down to a T, doesn't it? And it's interesting that I've never noticed that world trinket that she picked up. It almost looked like a locket, and I really wonder if that features in the next game, whether there's something in it or it harbours some kind of data that Aloy can tap into. No idea, or her last message, or maybe that was delivering that message from that conversation with Gaia and Elisabet. I'm not sure. But here we come to an end of this playthrough. Amazing, isn't it? What an amazing ride. We're kind of coming through the cauldrons here at the moment for the end credits, which is pretty awesome. But I am looking forward to it now. I always have been, but I am really psyched to get into it. I wonder where we start, how long before we enter the Forbidden West. Do we start in Nora lands? These are obviously things that may have been in the reviews, I'm not sure. But it's not something I've delved into yet. Yes, it appears in Forbidden West. Okay. But yeah, so that's it. That's the end of this playthrough. More than happy to stick around if you want to shoot the shit about Forbidden West a bit more, or ask me any questions about the channel, about my thoughts on the game, about anything really. Happy to stick around for a while longer to do that. Like I said, I hope the audio, as I said at the start of the stream, I hope the audio has been okay. I'm using a very kind of rudimentary setup here with the mic I usually use, but it's not good for it's not good for rooms where there's a lot of ambient noise, like in here. So did you hear it in the background? Was there a lot of background ambient noise that you noticed, or was it okay? Did it seem as usual like my Let's Plays? I can't hear it. That's another thing. I need a mixing desk if I'm going to do any more streaming. I also need a bigger monitor and a new capture card. So it's going to be a piecemeal process. But the revenue stream I get from these, and also from the Let's Plays, I'm going to put towards that. And hopefully do a bit more streaming, because I've got this room now that I can do, and I want to kind of refine the streaming process, because I do like playing along with you guys, with your tips and hints, and you're always so respectful about spoilers, respectful with each other. Some streams you dive into and it's a shit show. So the channel obviously attracts very reasonable and kind people. So thank you very much for all your kind comments and everything else. So yeah, I couldn't hear any background noise except when I took a brief break. Yes, I turned off the video but didn't turn the audio off, so I'll do that next time. Yeah, so it's good that you can't hear it during the stream. That's very good. So KG, I never understood the criticism of this game's climbing. I actually felt it was great. The visibility could be improved, but for the most part I liked it. It's pretty much like Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's better than Ghost of Tsushima. I think they got the weight of it really, really well. If you go to Assassin's Creed, it's obviously really, really weighty, the way you climb things, and it does take time. They try and strike a balance between sort of gaming movement and real life movement, and sometimes it can feel really laboured, but with Horizon it was really nice and just fly up, and you've got these little slow-mo animations, which is very cool. Yes, no, I like it. I do. My only criticism is that you couldn't climb. You're very, very kind of blinkered in the way you could climb. You could only climb a very few amount of objects in a certain way, and I wish you could have climbed more, which you can in the next game, so that's great. So it was hardly ever a problem to me. That's good. I assume you're talking about the audio. That's great. Yes, so after this game, we have the opportunity to go and find some more stuff. But I think we've done everything that we need to do. We've obviously can do a few more of these cauldrons and override some more machines, but it's not going to help us now into the end game. I think we've completed all the side quests and all the stories. And that's kind of it. So yes, we are Wednesday today. Horizon Forbidden West is out on Friday. I think I'm going to live stream the first 3 or 4 hours of it as an impressions thing, giving you my first impressions of the game, and I'll probably air that on the main channel, the Patient Wolf, to kind of set up that. And I've got a poll on the site at the moment, and a few of you have already seen that and voted, but I'm really undecided on where to go with the channel in terms of what I focus on, because I want to focus on one thing rather than spread across lots of things. I'm really enjoying my Assassin's Creed route at the moment, doing the story of that and focusing on the characters, loving doing that. I really enjoy Red Dead 2, and I have so many more stories I wanted to tell or retell in that game. And I just so want to dive back in, but maybe I'll do that as a live stream instead. And there's Horizon Forbidden West, and I obviously want to create stories like that, but Assassin's Creed will have to wait. So it's difficult. It is a difficult one. I don't know what you guys think on the stream. What would you prefer? Assassin's Creed? Dive back into Red Dead Redemption 2, or deep dive into the story without a let's play of Forbidden West and create some lore videos within that? Do let me know what you think. Okay, folks, I'm going to sign off now. Thanks so much for checking out the stream, following the Let's Plays. Quick comment here from KG. I'm biased, but I think Horizon is a great way forward. It has a new game, deep lore, and so many mysteries to uncover. And it's one of your favourite games too, right? Sure is. Sure is. It's a tough one. Special thanks to our amazing cosplay artists and fans. We thank you. So Sakila wants a blind Let's Play of Horizon Forbidden West. So maybe that could be done on via a stream, and I would focus on that first, and then perhaps dive in later. That'll give me time to focus on the Assassin's Creed videos or the Red Dead Redemption videos. Thanks, Dave. This was another great series and a great stream today. Thanks very much for going by. Thank you for streaming this fantastic game. Thanks, Stormy Stitch. Good to hear from you. Okay, folks, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you on the next stream, possibly on Friday, possibly blind playthrough of Forbidden West. See you on the next one.